Hi everyone, this paper introduces you to some educational theory that we need to do in this course. Part of the course is to look at some educational theory, and the theory that we're looking at is from the theorist Vygotsky. I'm sure we have heard of Vygotsky before, and Vygotsky's work looks at how people are engaged in socialisation and social interaction when they learn, and the importance of that. And this is what his theory has centred on. Part of this theory includes the idea of a more knowledgeable other, and in the paper it refers to that as MKO after initially telling you what it is. So when you see that abbreviation as the paper goes on, you'll know that's more knowledgeable other. Another very famous part of his theory that isn't talked about in the paper is the ZPD, and that's the zone of proximal development. And in that part of the theory, Vygotsky talks about how the more knowledgeable other figures out a way to help somebody move to a higher concept, something that they don't understand, to something that they will understand with the help of the more knowledgeable other. That can only occur if the help fits within the zone of proximal development, or in other words, what the person can take on board. So if it's too easy or it's too difficult, it won't really work, because the assistance given by the more knowledgeable other has to be within that zone that's effective. So more knowledgeable other and zone of proximal development are very important parts of Vygotsky's theory. The theories were developed quite some time ago, but since then they've been found to be quite accurate through quite many research studies that have been conducted. The theory emphasises that collaboration is essential for learning, and this has been backed up, as I said, by many research studies since then. The paper argues that the best way to promote collaboration in ECE is through digital technologies, and that's interesting because initially there was a bit of resistance years ago in early childhood settings to introducing digital technologies, because many people thought it would lead to less socialisation, less collaboration. But of course many studies and just looking practically at what happens in technology-infused centres shows that it involves more collaboration and socialisation. Also, standards of early childhood education associations and accrediting authorities worldwide now emphasise the importance of communication to foster collaboration, and they talk about how digital technologies can add to this process if done in a sensible way. So Vygotsky defines the more knowledgeable other as someone with more knowledge or greater understanding of a particular task or process than the learner. But Vygotsky, of course, did not think about ICT and digital technologies when he first put these theories together. It was always a real person, because there wasn't any such thing as personal computers, laptops, iPads when Vygotsky thought of these theories, but they still stand up very well in today's digital age. The paper also goes on to talk about Web 2. You've heard that expression, Web 2 or Web 2.0 as compared to Web 1. Now in Web 1, when the internet first came out, it was just passively receiving information. People thought it was absolutely fantastic and wonderful, because if you didn't have a big library around the place and you wanted to find sort of some information about more obscure things or find illustrations and things like that, it's very difficult. So just to get passive access to information was a fantastic innovation, but it didn't include much in the way of innovation in terms of interaction and people being able to change things on the web and author things and be creative. Whereas Web 2, when that came along, it enabled all of that, and it enabled people to be interactive and to be creative and do all sorts of things and contribute to the whole process. So there's quite a lot in the paper about how Web 2 in particular has enabled the communication and collaboration that's needed in early childhood education. Then the paper goes on to talk a lot about virtual worlds and how different programs that introduce young children to virtual worlds can contribute to socialisation and collaboration. It talks about how it enables communication and collaboration, particularly for students with special needs, and have examples of students with autism or further down the spectrum from autism to Asperger's syndrome, and how many students with special needs such as that or other special needs have been shown to communicate and collaborate really effectively with digital technologies, yet not so well face-to-face and in interaction with other children. So that's something to consider. It also outlines the ways that digital technology increases the use of higher order thinking and facilitates higher order thinking, and points out that research across many different countries have now shown that that's the case, and also demonstrated better results in mathematics concepts like geometry and shape and so on in ECE environments where digital technology has been used, and then the results have been compared to traditional classrooms. And in a lot of these studies it's shown that the results are superior when the digital technologies are being used. The paper then goes on to provide more detailed information about various applications, and it talks about things like VoiceThread, and there's a lot of information about that, podcast and Voki. There's many others, but it can't deal with every single one in the paper, so it goes through some well-known applications. So overall, Vygotsky's theories have been very influential in early childhood education, so it's a good one for us to look at in terms of digital technologies. And also these theories have been proven not just to be theoretical over time, and to be very much in sync with what's happening in ECE learning and